Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Sistrunk and I'm reaching out to the student body. Okay, students, another video log that's going to be part of a discussion question where we're going to talk about the primary thing, the plan. What is the plan? Most of you take these classes and you are sitting for either a degree or a certificate. Now, in one of my videos that I produced, I actually showed each and every one of you what this information is all about. But I'm going to go a little bit into it because I want to specifically hit on what is your plan. So the first discussion question is this. Once again, here go these discussion questions. What is your plan for graduation, after graduation, completing this curriculum? So I'm going to slow down a little because I want to make sure I get this absolutely correct for you as a student. I want you to understand that all of this shapes up into something that is important for you. I want you to develop and grow and be highly successful in your chosen field. So the question comes back again, what is your plan? So as you can see, in this department, we have 2 degrees. One is called Computer Networking and Systems. The other one is called Network Security Administration. And they AAS degrees. Outside of that, you see we have a plethora of certificate programs. You can get Cisco certified or a Cisco certificate. You can get Linux certificate or Linux certified. You can get end user support certificate or certification, etc., etc., etc. We even got cloud in here. And coming soon, you'll also see AI. But that's another conversation that I'll have with you later on down the road. So when I speak of what is the plan, you normally would choose one of these paths. You either say, hey, I want to be in computer networking and systems, or I want to be in networking security administration. So I'm going to click on networking security administration. It could be either or. Now, in here, we're going to just shoot right past the gen eds. You know that this is 60 semester credit hours, but we're going to shoot past the gen ed because you know you got to take them. Them have nothing to do with me, other than making sure you fulfill the requirements of the degree. And they are definitely the requirements of the degree. So I'm going to shoot down here to the major requirements. And as you can see, it's a plethora of classes that you have to take to complete this program. And added in here is a bunch of security classes, some networking classes, and definitely operating system classes. So you'll see a Windows desktop, you'll see Linux Essential, and so on and so forth. So you can actually leave with a degree and several certificates. And if you matched it up right, you can actually leave with 2 degrees and several certificates. But I'll let you look at that. That's not the point of this conversation at this time. Now, with that being said, this is your plan. But let's think about the plan. Have you sat down and said to yourself, hey, what career do I want to get outside of this college? Or am I working on a career while I'm in here taking these classes? So the first place I like to take all students to is this next website, which is called U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, this is the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and the purpose of it is to give you a description of every job that's in this country. Now, as you can see, it's a plethora of different jobs that you can go for in this country. But the main one I'm going to focus on is what we call computer and information systems. Now, ideally, in the real world, a student should check this before they sign up for a program because they want to make sure when they go to college, they go through the right program so they can know exactly what they will be making as far as monies. At the end of the day, students, education is great, you're learning, but the most important thing is to make sure you can feed the family when you get through with the education, and that you don't come out with so much debt. And that's why I want to talk about the plan. We want to make sure that you don't come out with a lot of debt, and also you got a plan where you can make money while you getting your education. So now take a look at this. It has all these different jobs. It tells you the level of education you should have, and it tells you how much money you will make. As you can see, this here lays it out. But what makes this site so important, and if you're one of my international students that's watching this, understand this, that your government may have something like this too that they put together on statistics of jobs, so everyone can know exactly what they should go for. So that's for my international, or people who just watching me on YouTube, who knows. But the point is this: you need to thoroughly research your field. So this is one of the places that I tell all students to start. You have right here, Network and Computer System Administrator. So you have that, and you have web developers, software developers. You got information security analysis, and I'm gonna stick with that theme. Remember, over here we clicked on the degree that was security, so we're gonna stick with that theme of security all the way through. A person can literally come in here and begin to research that particular career. As you can see, information security analyst. And it pretty much lays out everything you need to know. See, the one thing you don't want to do is just jump in the college program and don't know the end results of it. You need to know what you will be making as far as monies, because you have a family and yourself to take care of. So as you can see right here, information security analyst, it tells you the mid pay of 2024 right here, $60+ per hour. It tells you what level of degree, and it tells you how many years of experience. It pretty much lays out everything for you. It also tells you what do they do, work environment, how to become one, pay, job outlook, and all that. So one of the things I try to get my students to understand, when you go from summary, jump to the job outlook, because you want to see how well this job will be. Now, you can also find that information, of course, on the summary. I just like jumping there to do a deeper dive, but you can see it here, and you can see that the job outlook for 2024 to 2034 looks really good, 29%, much faster than the average. So now you can have a conversation with people and not be like, oh, why did you choose that field? Well, I chose the field because it's a thriving field. I like the field, but I know that this field will be around for many, many years. Now, let me explain what the occupational outlook is all about. It's about the government taking a deep dive into every job in this nation and giving an outlook of how the jobs will be for the foreseeable future. It's allowing you to say, yes, that's the right choice of job or career that I want to take. See, you want to go from the saying of job to career. And that's what the government actually do when they put out these statistics, to let everybody know that if you choose a career, it will be around. Now, I like to do a deep dive, because when I'm researching a career, I want to make sure that career is going to be around. So I tend to go to organizationals' websites and see what they say about the particular job. So if I come back here and choose information security analyst, I can choose this title here, Or I can choose this title here, which is Network Security Administration. Either title works. And I can come to this website right here, which is called salary.com. This is produced by businesses that do research on careers out there. And I can simply just put that in there and then begin to make sure that I have all the correct information. I'm just making sure I got the right information in there about that job. So I'm gonna go ahead and click. Now, if you notice, I didn't choose location. So the second question in this questionnaire that I'm throwing out there for the discussion lesson is, where will you work at? See, that's important. Maybe you'll work in Illinois. Maybe you'll work in Dubai. Maybe you'll work in another country. But this here is specifically for America. So where in America will you work at? Where will you start doing your work? That's the second question. Don't skip it. So I'm gonna click on here to get what they say, get my salary estimate. Let's go check that out. And one of the things that I have to do is search for that particular job. Information System Security Analyst, that wasn't one. I'm gonna keep going out. You see that it's a plethora of different positions in here, but you want to specifically go to the one that you chose. And Information Security Specialist 1, I could choose that, but I was looking for Analyst. But I'm going to choose this one here because I don't want this video to be too long. You're going to get a chance to do your own research. But anyway, let me move on. So here it is. I'm going to choose More. And it will give me a deeper dive on this particular position. So if I blow it up a little more for you guys to see, you can see that this career is really going to be around. So you can see typically requires a bachelor's degree. Typically, it doesn't say you need one. Okay, so don't get stuck on that. Oh, I gotta have a bachelor's degree, so I gotta go do 2 more years of college. Wake up. Wake up. Okay, it says here, working as an Information Security Specialist 1 typically requires 0 to 2 years of related experience. So if I'm coming out of college, I have no experience. But I'm going to tell you, beware of that, because you want to have some experience instead of just college education. And I'm going to tell you about that later. But now you can see, you can get a description of a total job. Third question. I want you, once you tell me your plan, to put your description inside of the discussion while you make your comment. Now you can narrow it down or make it shorter, but make sure I see your description. Okay, and it tells you here other particular titles within that job that you chose. Now I recognize that some of you may not even be going into IT. Some of you may be taking this class just to have knowledge, but you're going to go into nursing. Or some of you going to take this class to have knowledge, and you may go into another field. But you can go in here and get the information on whatever field you're going into. So make sure you answer that question. Now, the next thing I want you to put in there with this is view salaries. So as you can see, now you can come down here and see the salary range. And you can change the salary range to annually, monthly, etc., even to hourly. So you can see how much that person is making. So even hourly, I see that that person is making 38. Now, you may say, hey, professor, but on the first screen, you showed $60 per hour. That's where that experience comes. So listen to this. You're going to leave with a degree. You're going to have certificates, but will you have certification? Every one of you should leave with a certification. And to put it more, I'm going to talk about certifications in this too. And to also go a little deeper, you should have some experience. Do you know the college is always hiring students to work in the IT department to help students out? Why aren't you taking those jobs so you can get that experience? And then with that experience, you can also have a manager that says, hey, this person know how to do the job. That's a reference. Oh my God, he putting it all together for me. Experience, reference, degree, certificate, certifications. You prepared for the real world. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Anyway, so I want you to give me this information that shows what you will be doing in your particular field. So I'm talking about this plan. Now, most IT people, when they're in this field, they go get several different plans. And I'm going to show you a few of them. Here is one right here. And this particular plan is called the Developer's Roadmap. Okay, so in here, you can choose any IT career you're thinking about, but I'm going to stick with security and begin to do a deeper dive on what you need in that particular field. This is a roadmap, which is a plan to show you what you need to know. So while you taking your classes, you can see out of these classes, what should I know? I should know that I should have a certification. And guess what? We have a class what you can take to prepare you to sit for a certification. Yes, we do. You should know that you should know some about the operating systems. Well, guess what? I have a Windows class that I'm sending this to, desktop support, and I have a Linux class that I'm sending it to, Linux Essential. So here's the operating system. Do you know what these mean? Understand the terminology. Do you know what a VLAN is? Do you know what a VPN is? Everybody should have a VPN. Do you have a VPN on your computer so no one can find out where you at? I have one. Okay, moving on. Or you should know what a MAN is, a LAN is, a WAN is. You should know what these is. And when I say you should know it, you should be able to explain it to me if I ask you the question. SSH, RDP, what is that? Fourth question, I want everybody to tell me, what is RDP? Uh-oh, look out. I know y'all gonna go in there and click on it. Do that. I want to make sure you understand that, but that was the fourth one. You should know all these different things. Now, a couple of things that I'm going to highlight is this. When you completing your career, you're going to notice when you go to interviews, they want to see that you actually know how to do the things that you came to study. So, Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, and these other platforms that's outside of the college, they will give you the skill set. If you in security, they will give you projects that you can present to your manager. Now, I'm not going to go too deep in it because I'm going to do a video log on how to get projects to put on your resume so you can be fully prepared. But that's something down the line coming to you. I got a lot of video logs I'm going to make. But anyway, in certification, you want to have a beginner certification and advanced certification. Just make sure you leave with one certification. And let me say this to you. Some people get certificate mixed up with certification. They are entirely two different things. So make sure you know that a certificate is something that you can get from a college or a different platform that you learn some on. A certification is something you go sit for to show that you validate yourself in that particular discipline. With that being said, now, these are the different things you should be focusing on. So make sure that that degree you choose will have a job when you complete college. When you graduate, it will be a job out there. Remember, it gives you the job outlook and how much you make. Then you'll go to salary.com and see what the salary is in your particular community where you will be working. And then you can come here in this roadmap right here and begin to see, do I know these things? Do I understand what's in here? This literally tells you what you should come out. But this is on the expert level. So, to be an expert, you got to work some years. But you can start building the foundation. But I want to end right now because I want to make sure you can begin to understand this. As you review this video log, people, you will see the discussion questions that I want you to answer. Remember, I need the discussion questions in line 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need you to answer each question individually. With that being said, this is Professor Sistrom. Take a look at this and begin to have your plan together.